In the next couple of breaths, whether you're already at the wall and you're doing an add-on or you're in a child's pose, you can slowly pause the video, bring your mat against the wall as so, and then bring your sit bones as close as you can to the baseboard, rolling back to lie down. Inch the glutes as close as you can toward the baseboard, and then take the legs straight up. So we're going to be getting into wall splits, about 5 minutes per leg, and then 2 minutes of that we're going to get into some double leg split. Okay, so start first by just opening up the right leg. So perhaps that right leg can come right down to the wall, and so the side of the leg rests on the floor. You can either keep that left leg reaching straight up or bending at the knee and just allow the leg to be more natural. Perhaps it falls in on the trunk of the body a little bit, or maybe that left foot rests more toward the right inner leg. But you do want to feel some kind of an opening through that right inner thigh. Okay, we're here for about a minute, so not too long. And then we'll just continue to add on and change the angle of the stretch. So the palms could either be on the belly, the eyes can be closed. You can always cactus the elbows as well. And just focusing once again on lengthening that breath. Good, taking about 5 more breaths. Reaching the palms to the sides of both thighs, and bending at the right knee. Bring the legs in toward the trunk of the body, and then plant the feet on the wall. Lift the hips up a couple of times before you simply switch. Open up that left leg, bending at the right knee. Whether that side shin is pressing against the wall, or maybe the foot comes toward the inner thigh, or maybe the trunk of that right leg comes a little bit closer toward the trunk of the body. Get into that stretch that you can hold for just over a minute here, getting that opening right through the area of the inner left thigh. And then once again, just allow the arms to rest wherever they feel comfortable, closing the eyes. And then once again, just work on your breath. You're doing great, just a few more. Try to keep the back nape of the neck nice and long. Good. Final two. Reaching the palms on either sides of the thighs, bending the knees, planting the feet onto the wall, and take 2 of those hip lifts. As the hips touch down, hug the knees into the chest. Inhale the forehead up to the kneecaps. Exhale, relaxing your head down. You've got those 2 blocks in reaching's distance. You're going to open up the legs, getting into your wall splits. Now, if the body doesn't have the mobility or the flexibility, you could always come to level 3 height with the blocks and just allow them to place just under the area of the knees or wherever it is to feel a little bit more supported and propped. As you get more warmed up and comfortable, you could take those blocks to level 1 or level 2 height. So in this hold, the gravity will be slowly taking those legs down. Every once in a while, we'll take the palms toward the inner thighs and help press the legs a little bit deeper into set. So take a few moments here to take any kind of fidgets, movements, wiggles, get that out of your system so then you can hold stillness. Closing the eyes. And wherever it is that your palms want to move to, or wherever you want to place them, commit to stillness here for about a minute before we do a slight adjustment. So again, the breath is coming in and out of the nose. Wiggle the fingertips, reach the palms toward the inner thighs. Either soothe out the muscle by rubbing the inner thighs. You could squeeze near the area of the inner thighs or even pat. Okay, massaging out through the quads as well. And then maybe move your blocks a little bit more further apart. And then try to lift the heels off of the wall just an inch to try to walk the heels closer down toward the baseboard. Okay, you're here for about 1 more minute. Allow the arms to open out to the sides, shake out the head a little bit. And then find your stillness here. Soften your gaze and come back to your breath. Notice at any point, if you do hold your breath, just take that inhale a little bit deeper in through the front palate of the chest. Hold the peak inhale before allowing the breath to release out of the mouth. Good, final few. Before we release this pose entirely, we're just going to do about a 30-second leg switch. So what that looks like is you're going to take the palms again toward the thighs, move the blocks to the side. You're going to take that right heel, try to drop it down toward the baseboard, and you could gently inch that left leg up. So the priority is taking the side of the right leg to the mat, just like we did in the beginning of this series. But this time that left leg, as you see, is now extended straight instead of being bent, okay? So try to really press the palms into the quads, lengthen out through the trunk of the body, and then just take about 5 more breaths here. You're gently going to switch. So allow that left leg to come down toward the floor. Allow that right leg to stay straight. Priority 1 is taking that leg toward the ground, okay? You could take the palms, smoothing out the area of the muscles here, massaging, pressing down on the quads. And then just hold for a few breaths. Good, final 2. There's no graceful way of coming out of this. So maybe from where you are, take that right knee, bend it. Bend your left knee with the help of the palms, bring the legs together. Take a moment here, breathe through any kind of tension, squeeze the trunk of the body, so really allow the thighs to rest, extending the legs back up to the ceiling, circle out through the ankles and the wrists. Maybe a happy baby. If the inner thighs are quite sensitive, just keep the knees together. So there's 3 of these wall stretches. You could either hold here and wait for the next add-on, unless your next add-on requires you to come into a child's pose. Then slowly roll to the right for a few breaths, bringing yourself into that upright position. Grab some water, and then bring yourself into that child's pose and rest before that next add-on.